Okay.
All right, we're on.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Tips and Tools Tuesday. We are so excited to be here with you all, and just knowing that when you show up, you go up. So just being that you're here and investing into yourself, I know that it, when you grow, your business grows. So we love that you're here with us, and we've had a powerful week, a lot of exciting things that have been happening. Most recently with seminar, and with new products that just launched. So many opportunities for you and your business. And today we have some announcements before we begin with Tips and Tools. Tomorrow officially the ordering limits on all new products are lifted. That is super, super exciting, you guys. I don't know about you, but I owe people some lip glosses, so I'm excited, and I want some for myself. I had to give them to my customers first, so I'm excited for that, you guys. But remember, limited edition items do go quickly, so making sure that you get those products for yourself. But it gets better. So tomorrow, all ordering limits are lifted. And tomorrow, Mary Kay announced that your seminar refund will be available to you in your shopping cart checkout on Mary Kay in Touch. So when you go to order your products, you will see the wholesale value available for you to discount from your order. So when you sell it, it's worth double with the retail. That's a really big deal, you guys. So whether you paid the $40 because you were a registrant for the summit in March, or you did the 45, that's going to cover your shipping and a couple products, most definitely. So tomorrow that officially happens, so you can check your shopping cart, order your glasses, and get that going. But another fun part of that, we are so excited to announce that we're officially doing a team and area challenge. Tomorrow, we have a challenge with our new lip glosses since the ordering limits are lifted, and we want to blow this out of the water with these new amazing colors and finishes. So this is a challenge that you can choose to participate in. It is not a Mary Kay challenge. It is not a Mary Kay funded challenge. This is something that you can choose to participate in. So what it is when you sell two lip glosses to any customer, any shade, two lip glosses to any customer, she can choose your hydrogel eye patches for free. Right? For free money. Right? For free. Yes. The you showed me. Do you have that handy? Maybe have it handy somewhere.
I'll pull it up if she got frozen.
Okay, good. So yeah, so if you guys can share that image. So we're going to be doing so that when you sell two of the new lip glosses, your customers can get a free hydrogel eye patch, the actual patch, not just one sample, the actual patches. So this is a decision you're making that you feel that is worth. It's sample? No, it's the real one, right? Making sure it's correct. It's a full. It's a sample?
It's a sample.
Oh, it's a sample.
Oh, I thought it was a full one. I misread that, guys. Just kidding. I would give it away for free.
No.
So with that said, it's just a sample. So ignore what I just said. It is a sample of free. Make sure it says that in the flyer, right? Please make sure it says that. So two lip glosses, they get a free hydrogel eye patch, free pair.
Right.
Hydrogel eye patches tomorrow. So you can choose, we're running it tomorrow, but let's say tomorrow is your really hectic day. You can run it on Thursday. You can run it on Friday. Definitely run it as soon as you can, because again, you want to make sure that things don't sell out or go out of stock. Even if it is a product that's going to be available for long term, things can sell out, because especially tomorrow, they're lifting the limits. So tomorrow, that's your challenge. When you sell to 14 customers, two each, I have the total here. It's over 400. Here it is. When you sell to 14 customers, two lip glosses each, that's over $448 in sales. For many of you, that's really the boost that you need to wrap up your Spark. For many of you, you're working towards really big goals to wrap up Star, because we're 3 weeks away. So with that said, I want to encourage you that this is an opportunity to really stretch, have a strong month and finish. So I love that. So making sure you do clarify with your guests, because they may be confused. I was confused. They might be confused. So make sure you clarify a pair for one sample, right? Just make sure you clarify that. But I love that. So something fun for you to run with you guys, something to get out the word about the new products. And my customers actually just got their lookbook this week in the mail. So if anybody's had delayed mail, I know I have. My customers literally are messaging me today. I'm like, I just got it. I'm like, well, good. I'm glad you got it. So just this is the opportunity again for follow-up, because there's 2 samples in their catalog if they got it on time. So, and with that said, going back to this, having the fact that we have, $40 retail tomorrow or $45 retail available due to seminar refund. I'm blown away that the company is being so generous to give back the small cost that we paid. Usually seminar is almost $200, and to be that where they're going to give us back whatever little we invested because of a hiccup on the first day shows me how gracious and generous our company is, how giving, and we're so blessed that they are thinking that way. And with that said, you guys, by the way, that's $3 million that they are giving back. And and I wasn't even their mistake. So I'm so impressed by the company, but this decision opened up seminar to all of you. So even if you missed your deadline to register, it is available now to every single one of you. You can go to the video lounge section of Mary Kay in Touch and watch playback, award ceremony day 3, and specifically your career level classes. What's really cool is you can actually watch all the career level classes at your level and below. So talk about an opportunity to know how to empower your team as well. Remember, me fill in any gaps you feel like you might have, and you're being trained by the best of the company. And not even in your division, the Emerald division, but you get access to training from all across the division, Sapphire, Ruby, Diamond. What an opportunity that you can really be in the space mentally of great leaders. They always say, don't ask somebody successful what they did to achieve something, ask them how they think. And the greatest thing you can give yourself from these trainings is to learn how these leaders think at every career level. So if you have not taken a chance to go visit the video lounge of Mary Kay in Touch, dig in, dive in, today we're talking about a personal growth plan to see how this fits in, but make a plan to start, going back and watching these events, watching these trainings and speeches. And also Saturday, we're watching as an area, day 1 is going to be officially launched since we missed it last Thursday. Day 1 will be Saturday. I know we're watching as a Driven National Area together through Zoom. So stay tuned for more information from your sales director so we can plug in live as a team together. So super excited about that, you guys. So we talked about flash sale you can offer for your customers with the new lip glosses. Mary Kay refunding you with money so you can purchase your product and you cover that shipping and get some products for you. And we talked about as well, the product order being limit being lifted. So with that said, today, what I was really excited to share with you guys, I was sharing with our leaders, that one of the greatest things about Mary Kay is that we're constantly filled with information. If you ever have a passion for personal growth, you are in the best place. Now you have all this content available to you, career level content, and now how will you prioritize your personal growth, learning, investing time in growing your mind and growing your business? So with that said, I have a training from John Maxwell. I attended a leadership conference for women maybe about 4 years ago, and it has transformed how I leave events, how I leave trainings, because has anybody ever attended a training, even on Tips and Tools, and you wrote out all the notes and you stuffed it under maybe it was in your notes section of your phone or, pages section of your laptop, or maybe in your notebook and you never went back to it, right? How many times have we done that? Because we get so much information and so much content. So one of the things that John Maxwell talks about is, and I've heard this from many, many national directors, is that the content in events, your training at events can change you. Events can change you if you let them. Events can change you if you let them, right? It's how you choose to, what you choose to do with the information provided for you. And this was a really eye-awakening concept for me. So write this down somewhere if you can, because this was a pivotal shift for me. Just because you experience something doesn't mean you're learning or you're growing. Once again, just because you experience something doesn't mean you are learning or that you are growing. And that was huge for me because I feel like I had experienced a lot of Mary Kay at a very short time. And I'm like, it just means I'm growing and I'm learning. Actually, in contrast, it's evaluated experiences. Evaluated experience propel us to grow. So sometimes you see, this makes sense because you may see an older, an older adult not necessarily be wise from all their years of experience. Just because you're older doesn't mean you are the wisest, right? I mean, not that we don't respect people that are, elders, please, make sure that I know it was important to me to do that, right? But with that said, that doesn't mean you're growing. Just because you've experienced a lot doesn't mean you're growing as an individual, and the content you're going to receive at Seminar 2020, you're going to continue to receive that content, more content, Tips and Tools Tuesday, training every week, training from our national. We get a plethora of information in Mary Kay, and we're constantly growing. And there's a difference between knowing and doing. There is a difference between I know this, but do I do this? There might be a gap between knowing and doing. And there could be a coaching opportunity there with your director, because sometimes we know something, but we have to bridge a gap as to the why. But let's be clear, Mary Kay, if you've been around for a while, and some of you have been familiar faces, we're overtrained, right? We know so much information. We love to keep getting information. You're going to receive a lifetime of training. But let's talk about how to apply it. Let's talk about how to apply the content you receive, how to create evaluated experiences from every training experience you go to from today moving forward, from seminar moving forward, because it is still fresh in our minds and in our hearts. So write down in your notes somewhere the acronym. Actually, just write down ACT, 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 right? So let me break this down for you. These are 3 things that you're going to apply to every single training situation from now on, whether it's from work, whether it's something for your children, whether it's something from whatever, church. This is your new way of doing it. How you're going to act. How are you going to act on this, right? The A stands for apply. So write down A stands for apply. So, and I'll explain how this works. The C stands for change. A is apply, C is change. And the T stands for teach/transfer. In Mary Kay, we transfer skills, we teach, right? We transfer skills to our guests, our customers, right? Apply, change, teach. Apply, change, teach. So ideally, step 1 is within 24 to 48 hours of any event you participate or any training you participated in, that you would take the opportunity in 24 hours to just scroll through each page of your notes and simply put an A next to the things that you're like, oh, I want to apply this. This is something that I want to apply to add to my business, a new technique, a new skill, something that I want to apply, right? Kind of like add, right? I want to apply. So you go through all your notes, apply. You could have multiple applies, right? So within 24 hours, reflecting, reviewing, because it's fresh in your mind. What do I want to apply? Apply. And then C stands for something that you want to change. Something that you want to change. Like, okay, this is something that I need to shift and change. I'll give you some ideas what that could be like. T is something, so C is change, right? And T, I said it earlier, is teach/transfer, right? Transfer. A transfer is something that you learned, right? The greatest way that you can absorb content and know that it's embedded in you is to transfer. Not just practice it, but transfer to somebody else, right? So apply, change, and teach. So as you go through your notes, let me give you an example. Like, look at this. This is pretty crazy. When I went to this conference, I put literally a bunch of A's, like A. I had a bunch of C's, and they happened to be in a certain, because of his training, the way he did it in order, but that's not always like that at all. But then you go through and put, I want to apply, I want to change, I want to teach this. I want to apply, I want to change, I want to teach this. Step 1, you letter them, right? And so step 2 is that you prioritize, okay, of all of these things, if there is the one thing that I can apply first, which would it be? You highlight that. I like the color orange because orange means important psychologically in psychology classes. Orange has difference. So I like the color orange. You can do whatever you want with that. So you can put, I want to apply. This is recommended picking the top 3 E's and your top 3 T's. Right? Because just like your 6 most important things to do list, we have a million, right? But at least to start with those, and you pick your top 3 A's, your top 3 C's, and your top 3 T's. And then what you do is you now create a system of personal growth for 30 days. Step 3. So number 1, you're going to coordinate. Find your A's, identify where in your notes are your things you want to apply, things you want to change, things you want to teach. Step 2 is prioritization. Okay, so I want to prioritize, if I had to pick only 3 things to apply to my business, because I can't simply do all of them, it's impossible right now. 3 things that I would like to, change, 3 things I want to teach. And then going back and saying, okay, with that, giving yourself permission, category of 1 A, 1 C, and 1 T, like literally the one thing I'm teaching first, that you do that for 1 whole month. every day. And for one entire month, for 30 days, you are applying this new skill until it becomes a habit. A habit. So you're applying this new skill to become a habit. And I'm gonna give you some suggestions of what he teaches about this. But A is you apply something all month long. I'm gonna apply this new technique. Maybe you're applying a new technique of two bookings a day. I want to do this for 30 days straight and see where it takes me. Or maybe you learned at the seminar. I want to people I heard from, many of the leaders, the top, which is not, ironic, this is on purpose here, that, many leaders talked about putting God first in their day. How they got through this pandemic, how they're getting through life, how they're growing their business, is their quiet time. And you want to apply this, and for 30 days straight, you're going to make a priority to apply. You're going to add this to your schedule. You're going to, create this into your schedule. Well, then the C is what you're going to change. Many times as we're hearing this conference, I'm so reminded of the power of our thoughts. And I need to change some belief systems. So maybe you're changing a thought, a perspective, maybe a way you approach something or the way you go about your day. Maybe you're changing the way you plan out your day. I don't know what it would be for you, but thinking of your training, and each time, what would you change? And that could be whatever you left with. What are you changing? A thought pattern, a belief, a habit, a work, the way you do a system, you're changing, right? And T is something that you want to teach. This excited me because the minute I've now learned something new, I want to teach somebody, because I feel like immediately when I teach somebody, mostly my husband gets it first. I'm like, guess what I just learned? Like last night I was on a Zoom with a bunch of moms talking about how to successfully lead your children virtually. Because I started today and I was at a loss for words with 2 small children, and it's not homeschool. Homeschool is very different. And so teaching with your classroom is very different world. It's not the same, So it's been a challenge. So my opportunity, as Grace would call it. So I went back literally and I came out of the Zoom super excited because I learned so much. And I started telling my husband, it ended at 10 p.m. He's like, okay. But I had to verbally process what I learned because I knew that I was transferring it. When I transfer it, it's sticking. And then I shared with one of my mom friends the next morning who was going through exactly what I'm going through. Here's what I learned last night. And now it's becoming second nature. So before bed last night, I literally reviewed my notes out of excitement, because I was like, okay, I'm going to apply this. I'm going to change this. Like one of the things about my kids' setup in their room, how I didn't have my son's chair in the right angle so that he could be, his feet were dangling, his posture was looking down. So any training, this could apply to anything. What are you applying? What are you changing? What are you teaching? Right? I love that. So, and let me give you so you do this for 90-day cycle to create massive growth. So you do one set of apply, change, teach for 30 days. You do it intentionally every day for 30 days. Imagine what that would look like, applying and transferring that, and what that would do for you. You do the next round of ACT for another 30 days, and then the next round of ACT for the next 30 days. 90 days of personal, intentional application of the content you've been given. Our challenge, our opportunity in Mary Kay is that we get content all the time. I wish it was so simple to say that we won't be trained for the next 90 days. But the reality is you will be. So you have to filter and sometimes decide what is most important. So let me give you what he continued, because this really helped me. Because I'm going to give you some bonus content here. He shared with us, and he talked about, do you have a personal growth plan? Because it aligns with this. What I just shared with you is going to align with a personal growth plan. And this excited me because I have this desire to grow, this desire to become a better version of myself. And, I've always had that. And so I know you do too, because you're here. So, how do we, do all of this, right? So he gave a simple strategy for a simple 5 steps, something he does every day. John Maxwell, which is why he is where he is. 5 steps, bonus content you could do every day. And these 3 things fit right in. Ready? Number 1, something he does every day. Every day, I learn. Every day I learn. Imagine every day you learned. So if it helps you, he said you can't learn about everything and anything, because that stressed me out. I was thinking I have to learn about politics, world history, science, medicine, now coronavirus. No. He said, pick 3 things that you want to grow in and be intentional about the information you're feeding yourself. No more than 3 things. So for me, for example, right now, the categories I'm passionate about growing in is my leadership, my parenting, and in my faith. Those are three that I am intentionally passionate about growing in. So every day when I want to listen to a podcast, a training, or speak to somebody that inspires me, it is in that I want to learn in one of these three categories. So I don't feel like I have to learn everything. I can have a filter. He even said, my husband's always telling me, like, you need to read more science fiction. I go, no, I don't want to. You can. I have no problem with it because all his books are science fiction and whatever and story. I'm like, that doesn't fill me. I want to learn. I want to grow. He's like, oh, you're so boring, you know? So I don't know what that looks like for you, but that's what I want to grow in. Every day you learn. So every day you learn. Number two, every day I reflect. Every day I reflect. Going back to just because you experience things doesn't mean you're growing. Every day I reflect, taking time morning and night to evaluate the experiences. Why did that happen? How would I have done that better? How do I feel about this? What am I thinking about this? And this is where once I had kids, I stopped thinking. I started just doing because there was no time to think. There was no quietness in my home. And I'll give you important information to know that it is so important to create time to evaluate, to pause, to reflect, to think, because if not, all this information is going in and out and not being applied. So every day I learn, every day I reflect, every day I write. Every day I write. See, you can be an internal processor, a verbal processor, but did you know writing and journaling is a system for processing? That's how I process. I realize I can talk about things, but I do verbally process, but a lot of it's writing. I feel like it's the things that God puts in my heart, my mind, my devotional time. I write the things that I want to, that I'm receiving, like my aha moments, my devotional time, whatever that is. Every day I have a system where I tend to have a notebook for a year. And I write into this. I can go back to this because I knew that this happened that year. So I could go back to those notes and I remember exactly where I was in my life. This whole book reflects that. So picking a notebook, for the year, or however you best, maybe it's your notepad section of your pages, your notes. So every day I learn, every day I reflect, every day I write, every day I share. Share is teach, right? Going back to teach. So actually, going back to reflect, it creates change. Reflection creates a space for change. Learning creates a space for change. So your change, learning and reflecting can work with your change. I'm changing this because I learned this and I'm reflecting this. So I'm learning and growing. So I'm going to change this, right? Every day I change. Every day I'm learning. Every day I'm reflecting. Every day I'm writing. Every day I'm sharing, which is back to teaching and transferring. I'm sharing what I learned. It's so powerful. Try this. Teach somebody, anybody. Teach your child, teach your husband, teach your boyfriend, teach your mother, teach whoever. Teach somebody, right? Share something you learned, right? And then lastly, every day I apply. Because you apply what you're learning. If you apply what you're learning, you're always growing, right? Going back to that plan. So we in here, every day I apply. So every day you're learning. So then you're going to apply it, which gives you rooms to change something, right? So every day you're applying, learning, writing, sharing, reflecting, these 5 steps, and they align with this initial, ACT, something that you can act on, something that you can change, and something that you can transfer. So this for me has been huge, you guys. I feel like it's a simple system. And even if you just listen to me, even if you just did the first A, the first C, and the first T from any training, and you applied it for even the week, I think it's further than most of us do with half our notes. Right? Half of our notes go under. And I did this last night because I knew I was preparing for this. And I literally went back to this from this conference I did. I did it with my Mary Kay notes over the weekend. And I did it because we always want to learn, right? We're always giving more content. So we have to do it a little bit quicker, right? And so I did it with these notes from last night and this weekend. And I'm seeing that I was able to apply it right away because I took time to review it last night. What am I going to apply right away tomorrow? What am I going to change right away tomorrow? My kids to be more effective. What am I going to teach right away? And that's how quickly you can shift and move forward. So with that said, I pray this was helpful for you all and encouraging. I do have one more thing before we split into our groups. And so, and then we can take questions in our groups. And in the groups, the goal is that you can share, what it is that you took away from seminar. But before that, we want to share with you something fun. All of our leaders came together this week thinking, we want to add value to you. We want to be of service to you. We want to make this event, this training, this Tips and Tools Tuesday, the most the place where you get the most value added in every capacity, that you're getting what you need, that you're getting the information, the support, the encouragement that you feel like you need to grow your business forward. So please stay tuned to a survey, a poll from your sales director. If you haven't gotten it yet, I know my girls are going to get it after today, so that we're creating the content moving forward. But we want to hear from you, because instead of assuming what you want to learn about, know about, be taught about, we want to know what's important to you right now, because times are different and our business is moving in different directions. And so we want to really get a consensus of what it is that you guys need, so we can specify and customize Tips and Tools Tuesday to what you want and you need most right now. So with that said, I hope that excites you. So stay tuned to that. Please fill it out, because we want to create the content around that. And with that said, we can split into our rooms. Anybody want to share before we go to our rooms? Directors, before we split? We're gonna start splitting. Okay, let's do it. Oh yeah, so I think, is Lisa doing the splitting? Yay. Okay, so we're gonna be splitting. So Lisa, I know you usually do a little head count of like her seniors and above. I don't see Lisa in my little gallery. There she is. I found her. Okay, I'm joining the breakout room.
Trying to think if I didn't assign you, just let me know. So is there anybody here who's a senior or above? I think I did okay, guys. I think I'm getting better at this.
Awesome. Hi, Lisa. I put in the chat that I'm a senior consultant.
Okay, perfect. I guess the window was blocked. Okay.
Oh, no
Throw me
worries.
in there, Natalie.
Thank you.
Just placing you in there.
No worries. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that was much faster than last time, guys. Getting better.
Getting better.
So I know that was like a lot of content, right? Thrown quickly.
You want to throw me with Denton?
Senator Mercy, do one of you guys want to go with Christine?
Say, why don't you send me with Denton? And I'll.
Okay.
Toss me.
Okay.
Personally trained by Mary Kay, and just a moment where she heard a story of Mary Kay that she was trying to sell a concealer like in little like blocks or whatever, and that she walked away from a party and had 0 sales, and that, you know, I guess she considered quitting at the time, because she thought, like, if I can't sell 1/8 of a concealer, you know, how am I gonna grow a business? And, you know, she talked about what if she would have quit that day. So that kind of helped me, because there are days, you know, I reach out to people and then I don't get responses back, and I feel kind of like, you know, discouraged. So I try, you know, I think what I took away from that is just hold on, don't give up. And, you know, you never know what can happen. And then there was another person who spoke, Kiwana, I think her name was, and she talked about putting your map, using your map to elevate your bar. And map was your meditation, affirmations, and prayer to raise your belief, actions, and your results. So those were, you know, 2 things that I took away so far, and I can't wait to see the rest of the videos.
And that was just from the career levels, right? Career path levels?
I think they were the classes. They were like classes, like very kind of like 10-minute clips.
Amazing. And again, the cool thing is that you get to access, you guys, the career levels for all the divisions. So there's so much content that you would have never have had access to before. Before, you only heard one trainer, like one person for the career level, the top 3 nationals for your division. Now you can hear all the nationals, all the top directors, all the career levels, like, you know, for the different divisions. It's incredible. So that's awesome, Natalie. I love that. That's powerful. And which of those do you want to apply right away, or you know, or transfer right away? What do you think from what you just picked up? What do you want to do with that?
I think I need to do more of the map. I don't give myself time to do most of that. Like, I would like to start my day with having maybe some me time, some like she said, meditations, affirmations, and prayers, to see if that kind of helps set my day, you know, a little better. I
Absolutely.
think I'm going to try that.
Absolutely. And I know that with small kids, that was something that I really struggled with keeping going, but I know even more how important it is that I would wake up extra early, just even if it wasn't too crazy early, but a little earlier before the kids, because I was tired with them, especially having a newborn, right? You have a newborn. So like, it's just the little extra that you get time for you because you can think clearly, you can process, you can evaluate. I love that. Awesome, Natalie. That was beautiful.
Thank
Okay,
you.
who else will share their takeaway and what they're going to apply?
I'll share. This is Shanika.
Hey, Trinika, and then Ale will be next. So I just heard you. Yeah, Trinika, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that spoke to me, I don't remember who said it, but even a champion needs a coach. And you
One
know,
of the national.
sometimes you get in a place where you feel like, oh, I've been booking forever. Like I know how to book. Like I'm a pro at booking. But you still need that coaching to reach up and get the help that you need. So that's one of the things that I'm gonna do more consistently, reaching up to get more help with, you know, because sometimes I don't even remember to book. You know what I mean? Because, especially with COVID, right? So I just want to be able to put that system in place. I want to apply that to my schedule, my actual schedule that I have is right here. I just want to apply that to my schedule and actually book every single day and get my at least 2 bookings. I want to share this because today I'm starting my journey to home ownership. And so I have to be more, I have to have at least $73,000 annually. So at least 6% of that has to come from Mary Kay. So I have to be more consistent and persistent about making sure that I get the numbers that I need in order to hit that mark. So I'm excited about it. I was almost in tears today because I thought this was never going to happen. But I'm super excited that I get this opportunity and I have Mary Kay to help me with this. So that's my apply, my A for my ACT.
I love that, Trinika. And you know, something that you said right now that one of the nationals mentioned was about that consistency. You know, there may be a day that doesn't happen, but the next day you go right back. You know, it's just, you know, because there's no perfect like that structure. You know, it's hard to live that structured life. But you know what? If you miss one day, the next day you go right back in. You know what I mean? So and that picture, that image. Go look up Callie DeBlander speech from the Ruby seminar. She's number 1 in the nation, and she talked about her home. So I want you to listen to her speech and it was a powerful story. So how she got there was on a vision board since for her beginning of her Mary Kay, how God brought it together. So I think you'll love that a lot. Number 1 speech. Awesome. So we had Ale starting to share. And so Ale, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
So there was a lot of things, a lot of takeaways from Saturday. And one of them that stuck was the one by Amber
Townsend Green. Yes, Amber Townsend Green.
Yes, Townsend Green. And she was saying how we are all enough. And it kind of reminded me that sometimes like we mentally get in our heads and we start thinking, you know, like I'm not, you know, like I'm failing as a parent or I'm failing as a wife or I'm not enough of a parent or I'm doing this wrong. And it's like, we're all up here in our heads. And she says, I am enough today. I am enough for the things that God called me to do today. I am strong. I am resilient. I am enough. And that's something that I would like to apply every day to remind myself that I am enough. And that, you know, I am enough for the things that God called me to do for that day. Because if you start thinking for my life, it's like endless. And you start, you know, just for that day. Then National Sales Director Thea Elvin also said, intentional action gets you through. And speak what you want to create. And keep your mind focused on the good and the positive. And I believe that she was the one that would do the positive calls every single morning while she was sick. And that, you know, it helped her get through what she was getting through. And it also, you know, like it kept her mind in a positive space. So that kind of like, you know, got to me because I was like, oh my God, you know, maybe that is what I need to start doing, like speaking what I want to create and just thinking positive and be intentional by doing the work.
I love that. Something you mentioned brought me back to a training I had recently with Madi, with Julia Burnett. And it was talking about the roles, you know, how we feel like, you know, I'm enough for today, right? She said, I can do the things that God has called me to. Like, I can at least do the things that God has called me to. Like, I can know about everything else, but at least what he's called me to be as a mom, as a leader, like, you know, he's called me, you know, in your home, he's called you that so that you can do it. I love that you said that. And so those are a lot of apply goals. So which one of those are you going to apply first? What do you think? Or change or tweak or what?
Intentional action gets you through. It's something that I want to apply.
Love it.
And the other one that I'm really like, I really want to apply also is I am enough today. I am enough for the things that God called me to do today. Those are like my top two that I'm like, I need to do this. Oh, there's one more. I don't have the exact writing, but I said I was going to go back and listen to Nancy Boucher's speech because I love her. She's so cute. And she's awesome. But one thing she said is how to view failure. And that's stuck with me, and it's been replaying in my head for some sort of reason. It says view failure as data, nothing else. Data that you look at, data that you learn from, and you move on. That's it. Like you flip the page, keep going.
See, that would
So
be
that kind of like
a change in perspective, or like changing how you see failure.
That's what I wrote just now when I was learning with you. I wrote C.
I love it. That's awesome. So then how can you transfer that to your children? Because they're going to feel like, oh, I didn't do good in this. How can you transfer that?
How can I transfer that? Oh, what did you learn from it? And then, oh, I learned this. Well, then that's what we're going to walk away with and keep moving forward. And
imagine the skill you're equipping them with at this age. That at this age you're learning that they can learn now. The advantage you're giving them by teaching them to think this way. That's huge. So you're transferring something that's life-changing. Love it.
I love it.
Ale. Super powerful, super powerful. Well, who else wants to share? And Mari, forgive me, Mari, I might have to jump onto StreamYard in a minute and have you continue because I have the network marketing. Joyce, go ahead.
Hello. Okay, I'm gonna say I learned, I took a lot away from it, and I liked every one of the speeches, and I also went on, let me see, I think it was called Women in Leadership, or Women Who Lead. I also saw that class, and what I liked about listening to everybody is, I'm just gonna say words that I took away from everything, which was pivot was the big word. Change. Everybody put God first, and they talked about all of the things that they did for other people. So I took that as they were selfless. They didn't think about themselves. They thought about everyone else. And I got the factor that they all respected each other and helped each other, especially with the Go Give. All of those things was important to me because I think to be a great leader, you need all of those. So pivot, I thought that was very important, and they talked a lot about it in Women Who Lead because you got to be ready for anything and able to adapt. So me, I think that's something that I want to, like you said, what do you want to apply? I think that's something I want to apply because you need to be ready for anything that might happen because you're thinking one thing and that one thing just might not be what actually happens. So being able to pivot means that I'm not going to just dwell on what didn't happen. I'm going to move on. So that's what I felt like it meant to me. I mean, it means to move and rotate or something. I think I saw where it said on its definition. So I found that very good. And I think being to one of our events already, because seminar was my first seminar, But January Jumpstart, I went to that as well. I feel the same. I feel very empowered by what happened to me at January Jumpstart, and January Jumpstart caused me to see a vision in myself and to create goals that I'm currently working at. And it also allowed me to stop working and decided I wanted to focus on Mary Kay all at once. So going in and seeing everyone that's had a whole year to come to seminar and be able to talk about all of their accomplishments, I took a lot away from that because I have somewhere that I want to go. So I also like the fact that you guys say, a lot of people talked about the culture. So it's whoever you're hanging out with, that's what you're going to get. So, Christine, I'm very inspired by that because you and Miss Mabel, you guys lead with the best leadership that I've ever been a part of. And I've been in every job position that I worked in my whole life. I've always been in a high position, but I wasn't led in a way that you guys are leading me because it's causing me to change and grow. So that's why change was so important to me. And I know that in order to grow, you have to have change. And I think most of those ladies equivalated being able to change and adapt and move and just go. Those are the things that help them get to their goals and reach them. So I learned a lot, and I think that I'm looking forward to next year's seminar because I got a lot of goals.
Marie is texting and saying, I love it, LaJoy, so insightful, so beautiful. That, you give us a lot of credit, but LaJoy, you're such a good student. You show up and you're not someone who needs to be pumped up and lifted up. You just keep going. And that's
I got that out of that too. And I'm glad that I have that in me because I saw that in each one of those women, like the lady who's like 80 something years old and she's still going, making $250,000 a year. Oh my God. Yeah. I want to be her when I grow up.
We all do. I love that, LaJoy. So beautifully said. And and every experience makes you more deeply rooted. So I love that. This is one more anchor for you. I will let Mari take one more. I'm going to jump onto StreamYard, Mari.
Yes.
Girls, Mari's, at least I think Nancy's a person, whoever couldn't share, Christina, Rocky, people. So I'm going to go ahead and run real quick. I'm going to do a marketing thing. And I'll see you guys. You can jump on my marketing afterwards with one of our guest speakers, Annalisa.
So
girls.
I'll take one more. I think they're about to jump us over, so they do in the middle. But I'll take one more. Who wants to share? Your takeaway, something that really inspired you.
I'll share.
Okay.
Okay, so my name is Katrina, in case you're wondering what that K stands for there. But yeah, oh man, can I just be honest? I'm still chewing on last week's Tuesday training tip. Seriously. So even though I'm getting new information, I'm still chewing on like previous training opportunities. But the biggest takeaway for me in regards to seminar speakers was when, and I don't know who said it because some similar things were said. So instead of keeping the notes separate, I was putting them near each other. But anyway, like LaJoyce referenced the pivot statement. So the pray, pivot, plan, and prepare rather than panic, pause, and pivot. And I'm not really one who normally panics, but it's still a good thing for me to keep in mind to not panic, pause, and pivot, but rather to pray, pivot, plan, and prepare. And I pondered on that because I was like, wait a minute, isn't preparation and planning one and the same? But when I thought about it, I was like, no, they're actually not synonymous by any means. So for example, like my goal, if I have a goal to do my goal is to do a certain number of bookings for the month, right? Let's say that's my goal. That's the goal. Then the plan would be, okay, I'm going to do a certain number of bookings each week to reach that goal by the end of the month. But the preparation is literally sitting down saying, these are the people I'm going to reach out to. That's the preparation piece, right? So they're not synonymous. And I was like, aha, that was good. So I'm a very good planner. I'm good with my preparation, but I think I need to linger in that area because I'm good at praying and pivot, okay? I know life has taught you better know how to pivot, but it really helped me to recognize, okay, so I do prep, but I think I can definitely enhance my prep. So that's where I'm going to linger amongst those 4 P's. So big takeaway.
I
Thank-
love that. I love that you said that because, you know, preparation. So Ari always calls our director. Our directors meet every week, and our call is called Slow Down to Speed Up. And it's an intentional name because, you know, in order to be able to speed up, you have to slow down. And so, like, I always take a day to plan the next month. And today was that day. Today I planned all of September. And, you know, I did it for my personal, like I literally did a calendar of what I'm teaching Julian each day. I did a calendar of what our unit's doing every week. And I did a calendar of our personal calendar. And so I think that's really important because it's in that preparation that we really can, in that planning that we can really see fruitful results. So we're actually going to jump back now to the main room, and they're going to, I think we're actually just going to leave this room and go jump on over to the Pink into Pink. So if you don't have the link for that, we will get that to you. Actually, I'll just post it here really quick because you definitely want to jump over. And where is it? Here it is. I'll send it to you guys right now. And it's a YouTube link. All right.
She has a really big goal. And then by
Here we go. Share this. Can I share this with myself? No, maybe not. Oh, yes. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to post this to you guys real quick here. And here we go. And then we can go ahead and I'll jump on over. So thank you for being on our Tip Tuesday. We're excited. Be looking out for the survey. We're going to be sending that out so we can be planning for next month. So just so you know, next Tuesday, we will actually have team meetings. And so we'll be back on Tip Tuesday in 2 weeks. And so make sure you do that survey because we're going to be tackling topics that are important to you. So